Hello, welcome to Cymru Camper Furniture. Just wanted to show you a new bed system that we've got. It's called a Mobiframe, and it will show you a couple of reasons why we like it and why we think it's better than most rock and roll beds. So to do that, you've got to imagine you've got a rock and roll bed, which is something that we don't often say because typically we don't like rock and roll beds because they're not the most comfortable of seats and not the most comfortable of beds. But we do find that they're a practical solution if you need to carry more people in the rear with seat belts. The problem with our traditional furniture, majority of it's made up of wood, and we do get asked still quite a few times, can you put seat belts on them? And it's something that we say a big no-no to. We don't like installing any type of seat belted system that isn't either factory, so it's been crash tested, pull tested, or anything like that with the seat belts unless it has passed those tests. So when we came across the Mobiframe setup, we thought it's a perfect opportunity to give you that flexibility. Yes, it's not as spacious as the furniture that we like to design, where you've got the benches or the U-shaped traditional systems, which makes even a short wheelbase van actually feel big and practical. Because your traditional rock and roll bed systems give you a decent kitchen unit, which again, we like to make our own little flair on it and make it a little bit better than the norm, but still not the most practical use of the short wheelbase space inside your van. It makes your bed narrow and it makes your storage setup okay. So what we found with the Mobiframe, I'll go through a couple of the features that we do like and what sets it apart from most of the others. One of the ones that it will sit quite closely alongside on the market is the rock and roll bed called the Rib, or the Rib Glide, the ones on the rails. So this bed, the main key features for it is it's TUV approved and it's also M1 tested. So what that means is that it's one of the safest rock and roll bed systems that you can install in your van. So it means that we're happy to install it into the vehicles and also know that it's going to look after you and your passengers in the vehicle. It's also got type approval, and without going into too much detail around that, it means that the manufacturers that have allowed it type approval on their vehicles mean that they're happy for it to be installed on theirs from new, therefore not impeding your warranty on your brand new vehicle, or at least within the first 3 years you're not impacting your warranty on it. So that's another good thing to consider. You don't have a warranty issue with your vehicle and it getting rejected because you've then got a badly fitted rock and roll bed. So it's definitely type approved for that. So what I'll do a quick little demonstration now of how it works as the bed. So it's a 120 width, this particular bed is. They do come in a couple of different widths. So you've got the standard rock and roll bed to the 112. You've also got the 120, 130, and then a full width at like 156, I believe it is. So you can go for whatever bed setup you want to suit your particular needs. We typically find that if you are having a rock and roll bed, it's going to be a 2 or 3 seater, and you're still going to want a bit of camping furniture rather than just the whole bed. So in this one, 120, and the first feature that I love about it, so obviously in bed mode, it's got built-in mattress toppers on all the backs of the seating, which mean that it is a very comfortable sleep without taking any extra mattress toppers and things like that with you. But as a bed length goes, so we're not even at the end. I'm Welsh, so I'm not really tall, but I've still got plenty of room on here. But also, because of that width, I don't feel squashed if there was 2 people sitting here. Then, so that's night mode. Then you come into the partly day mode, and you want to relax a little bit more. You don't want to sit on your seat that you use to get to wherever you are. You want to chill out a little bit more, but you still want to be able to lounge like I'm doing right now. So you've got this adjustable backrest, which is really handy for doing exactly that. Up, down, we want to come up. And you can adjust it into different locking positions. So I think all in all, you've got around about 4 different height adjustment positions. This also then doubles up when you're back in the boot mode. We have got a van outside to show you one in, but it's raining at the moment, so I thought I'd show you this one. It also acts as a shelf. So we'll put it in the all the way up position at the moment, and we'll come back on to showing you the shelf when it's in seating mode. And to get into seating mode, what we're going to do is pop the mattress topper out of the way, pull back up from underneath our ribbed and our formed seats, which give you that comfortable seat, but it means you're not sleeping on any of this when you are camping in bed mode. And we put that back for there. How easy is that? So now it is a 3-seater on a 120 width. So it's pretty comfortable for 3 adults, I would say. but mainly it's going to be for 3 kids through growing ages, up until they're sort of 20 and it's not cool to camp with you anymore. So this is it in seating mode, and then the next benefit of this one is the rail system. So it's on a uni-molded floor, which means that the rails are built in and they can be spec'd to suit you. So what we'll do is pull up the locker rail, and now we can pull this seat into any position we want. So I could come all the way up to here, which is more like a combi van now. And day-to-day driving, personally, I find that it's a much better seating position here for your passengers. They don't really, you know, you can put the back windows in the van and take them all the way into the boot. But there's just this vast space that just feels a bit too much. I personally would rather all the room in the boot. And that brings me on to the boot version there. So, in the boot section, with that shelf that we mentioned earlier, it can come down now and form a storage shelf. Leave that. So with the storage shelf in place here, you've got that split portion where you can store items underneath, store items above as well. So it's generally the most adaptable bed. And then one better than everything else that we've mentioned is it's removable. So I won't show you it now because it's heavy. It's a 2-man job, but all you do is lift it up from where it's situated and take it up the sliding door. And you have now got your van back. And that's the biggest problem with a rock and roll bed style camper van is you had this van, you either converted it yourself or had it converted, you have it back as now a camper van, and that's how it's always going to be. Whereas with this setup, it's a case of, do I need a camper? Do I need something to go to the tip? Is the wife taking me to IKEA? Do I need an empty van to go to IKEA? You've got all them options, and it's only a couple of minutes job. So we just think as an all-rounder, it answers so many questions or problems or issues that come with a traditional rock and roll bed. And like I say, the main key points for us is removable, because we love our combi setups for the flexibility and removability of seats. So it's got the removable factor. It's a comfortable seat, because these seats are formed seats, just like your front seats, but you're not sleeping on this form part, because you have so many rock and roll beds that have formed seats, but they do then make your bed. So you've got to lay on these lumps. You've got to lay on the seat belts. Whereas as this one works, you're laying on the back, the flat surfaces, and you then have the mattress topper built in by here. So it may seem like a sales pitch video, but it's genuinely not. If any of our existing customers are watching, you'll know that all we want to do is pass on what we've learned and make sure that your camper van is made to suit you and you're going to get the maximum use out of it. Whereas, you know, yeah, we can just chuck any rock and roll bed in because you asked for a rock and roll bed or you needed somebody to sit in the back of the van. But with all honesty, this answers every question that you could possibly want what's wrong with a rock and roll bed, and it just put it right. So back to the start of the video when I mentioned the nearest competitor to something like this would have been the rib range of beds. And if you go on the forums and things, again, we've had first-hand experience on them. A great, solid, all-round bed, but they're tall. So when you sit in, even as an adult, and I'm short, your legs will dangle like this. So it just makes it, it's not a big problem, but it just makes it unpleasant. And then you come on to the safety side of things when you've got ISOFIX children's seats. So obviously all the beds, or most of the rock and roll beds these days, have got ISOFIX built into them. But on the rib, the legs of most ISOFIX seats can't reach the floor because the beds are just so high up. Don't ask me why they haven't changed it yet. Maybe they will after this video goes very, very popular. I'm not saying anything. But that's what these guys have done. They've thought of all the problems, all the snags and things that you don't like with your traditional rock and rolls, and just put them right. And then, of course, you've got the rail system. So these rails here are our off-centered rails. You can also get a set of central sectioned rails. And what that means is you can have adaptability. So you can, for now, stick with a 120 bed, have your kitchen and everything made. In the future, you may want a narrower bed, a wider bed. Your floor system doesn't have to be changed. The seat system can then be changed to suit your rail system. And also, if you didn't want a kitchen immediately, you can go for the center rail and the off-center rails and move the bed to suit for when the future did come and you did want to put them to the other side. The other little features, so we're currently designing a fair bit of software, a fair bit of furniture to go with it, especially our mountain drawer, because we've got a lot of storage space. And that's the other thing. Most rock and roll beds have metal going diagonally and every sort of way, shape and form to give it that sort of structure. Whereas these ones have been built with practicality in mind, where you've got a huge amount of storage space here and here. Obviously this side will sit over the wheel arch if you're putting it right up against the side, so that's one to bear in mind. But you'll have storage here, or a drawer even here, and also the same by here, or a kick bag even by here. So just practical in every aspect of the system. So yeah, that's a quick brief tour, very brief, of our Mobiframe setup, which we're obviously taking orders for now. It's a traditional, well, we're a 3-month waiting time most of the time anyway, so it's around about 6-week lead time. We can upholster these then in any upholstery. So like our front seats, which I'll show you in a second, they've been retrimmed in a Napa leather with upgraded bolsters. You can also match your rear seats to suit that as well. Or this standard half leather, half suede upholstery as it comes is very, very good as well. So yeah, stay tuned. If you've got any questions, do reach out, and hopefully we can do a couple more videos like this for you. Thank you.